What's your position on development impact fees?
Can you define a little further?
Fees that offset the costs of creating new developments.
Like I think
Might have got me.
there's the notion that if there's a new development that's coming in, you know, a new condominium, a new townhome complex or something like that, in addition to permit fees and whatever taxes levied on there, is to have an impact fee, and that supports parks or some things like that. A couple city council candidates have talked about that, and so we're not sure where we fall on it, but we're just curious to hear the thinking of individual candidates on that.
It's really kind of the first time I've heard about a development impact fee, but I would like our developers to work with the city and perhaps be part of the overall plan of designing neighborhoods, and therefore if it requires street and repair and sewage placement and replacement, that the developers really have to take a nice sized portion of that to make sure that works with their new project that's in hand. If they're displacing people, I would like to see the developers either build in some portion of the new development for those folks that they're displacing, or build another facility or repair another facility around town, so that the displaced people, especially in the older apartments and older homes that are being torn down and replaced with modern high-rise, make sure that we're not just putting people out on the street. And so in that regard, I'd like to see our developers work with our city closer, and our city work closer and incentive, give an incentive to the developers to do the right thing. And I'm sure that most of them, if not all of them, will do the right thing.
Recently, the affordable housing levy came out of council. Do you support that levy? If you could have helped draft that levy, would you have done anything different with it?
Yeah, I do support the levy. Again, we're going through a very difficult economic downturn right now, and to continue putting levies on the ballot and trying to raise those kind of monies from our tax base, it's a challenge. But I do feel like we need to keep moving forward, and I do want to put that caveat in that I am supportive of it, but also at the same time, I want us to realize it is a challenge to continue taxing ourselves, even though the voters vote to do so, majority-wise. So we just need to proceed forward with caution.
I wanted to ask a question related to taxes and then the Alaskan Way viaduct issue. One thing I've had difficulty with is reconciling the plan that Mayor Nichols put forth to contribute, I think it's $930 million to the overall project, and that would come out of kind of this grab bag of utility rate increases, maybe a local improvement district for downtown property owners, maybe a transportation benefit district. So it was a lot. Yeah. A very significant amount of taxes that are going to be coming to Seattle's way. But then on the other hand, to look at, say, the head tax, which is only $25 per employee, or other taxes. So help me reconcile the huge tax and fee hike for the tunnel versus, doesn't that dwarf whatever benefit you might get out of cutting the head tax?
I'm not sure what you mean by dwarf whatever benefit we may get out of the head tax. The head tax is $25 per employee per year. And the thing about the head tax, not only is it, $25 isn't a whole bunch of money for most of us around the table here, but the thing is, it's a disincentive. Businesses want to be encouraged to grow, not penalized for growing. And so we need to allow our businesses to grow, because as they grow and generate more revenue, more gross revenue, more sales tax, that all feeds right into our general fund. So as a small business owner myself, I am in favor of allowing our businesses to grow, of taking away obstacles that prevent them or prohibit them or punish them almost in a way for growing. There's got to be other ways, and I haven't thought it through all the way, but there's got to be other ways to, one, I did mention one by increasing the amount of new businesses coming to town, but there's got to be other ways to find that possibly projected shortfall of what may be missing from that head tax should we be successful in eliminating it.
Thanks. To shift gears a little bit, in your questionnaire in discussing the multifamily housing zoning code, you had some interesting ideas about how to create incentives for sort of thing from, I think, permeable pavers and solar and heated water heaters and so forth. I was wondering if you could just expand on what that program would look like exactly.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, because it was a month or two ago that I filled all this out. But you know, I am for encouraging our businesses, our developers to grow responsibly, to grow green, to be environmentally friendly as best as possible. And so, because I look at the big picture of things, 20, 30, 40 years out for the next generation of people, we need to preserve the land that we're on as best we can, keep it safe, keep it clean, keep it from being contaminated. And by developing these types of different programs where you have programmable services that allow the water to drain through and filter out before it heads out to the sound, where we have solar panels on buildings that we can help generate and sustain electricity and heat buildings and water. Those are all things that are part of us moving toward being a lot more environmentally friendly and green, so to speak. They also create a lot of great green industry type jobs for folks who, there are a lot of people out there now training for those programs. I think that would be a huge piece of our economy over the next coming years is the green industry type jobs. And so this is a win-win-win all the way around. And when you look at it, and again, it fits into our projected growth here. So as we grow, we need to grow smartly, and we need to grow to make sure that our environment can sustain and handle the growth that we're going to have.
And in talking about the environment, so the green bag fee. In your questionnaire, you stated that you oppose the green bag fee, but would have been receptive to an outright ban on plastic bags. So I wasn't understanding why it's not okay to have a 20-cent fee, but it is okay to outright ban it. Are you saying to permit only plastic and to permit paper or plastic sort of thing?
Yeah. Excuse me. It gets back to my style of leadership, which is educating and informing people, not punishing and penalizing them. So by educating educational programs and informational outlets throughout town that people can really receive the information of how wise it is to recycle, reduce, and reuse. I would rather go that route instead of, again, penalizing someone or giving them a disincentive for using a plastic bag. And that's just the quick and dirty, simple, easy answer for you there. Okay. And that's in lieu also of an outright ban of plastic bags. I mean, if plastic bags are increasingly becoming a serious landfill environmental issue, as they are, then I would move towards, in the oncoming years, towards just outright banning them and making sure we use recyclable cloth bags, reusable cloth bags, or paper bags, which has its own environmental issues around that too, but at least they do deconstruct after some time in the landfills.
So kind of stick with more of a public education program, voluntary program, and after some period of time, see how things are going, and only if necessary.
Yes, I would encourage our stores and our markets to have reusable cloth bags for their customers to take off the shelf, similarly as we do with. At the crosswalks, you see a lot of those little orange flags that people walk back and forth and just put it in a box, or umbrella stands around town, or bicycle stands around town that people can just use from here to there. Stores can come up with some kind of plan also, and the city should be looking at how to come up with that kind of creative plan for them.
Why are you running now? Why not previous election cycle? What's got you in the race now? It's not fun to run a campaign. Why are you doing it?
Other than underneath the hot lights here. I love it. I really love doing what I do. For 20 years I've been a business owner. For the 30 years I've been a Seattle resident. I've been very, very involved in our city through various boards and associations and committees. A lot of work in our communities. Establishing business locations in disadvantaged areas around town. This is what I do, and I feel that by consolidating a lot of those efforts and being able to work hand in hand and arm with a lot of our regional leaders to move and continue moving our city and our region forward into the future has got me very excited to do so. I know I'll do a tremendous job, and I know that I can work so well with others. That's just part of my makeup, part of my DNA. Being the mayor of a city, sure, it's a task, it's a job. But like all the things I've done in my life, we do it through teamwork, we do it through collaboration, we do it through goal setting, we do it through incentives and bonuses that are rewarded for good work. And we do it also by making sure that the folks who aren't doing their work are either brought up to speed or replaced with people who will do the work. So this is part of a team, and there's a lot of great people in town that really want to be part of all this. I would just be holding one of the positions on the team, but we'll work it very, very well as a team effort.